7 days of hurt. 4 months on. Here they come. 20 days after the washout on Feb 8. It's been a picture-perfect day in the Harbour City. And ideal conditions here as we tick down towards kickoff. That round 3 defeat still stings the Sky Blues. They had 20 shots to 7, 10 corners to 3, 65% possession, penalty claims turned down, but finished on the wrong end of a 1-0 scoreline. So tonight they seek redemption against an in-form Western Sydney with 7 points gathered out of the last 9 available. Let's check the team news. And Alex Baum-Johan was originally suspended from this game, but the washout on Feb 8 means he's now served his ban and can face his former club in his first A-League game in over a month. Paulo Retre is now suspended, so Caceres will drop back into a deeper midfield role than normal. The Wanderers also make one change to their 11. Keanu Bacchus is still troubled by the knee injury, which forced him off last week. So Nick Sullivan makes his first start since round 7, just 3 days after his 22nd birthday. Big opportunity for him and a big miss. Keanu Bacchus has been in super form. What a night for the McGowan family. Brothers, next door neighbours, golfing buddies and best mates, but for the next 2 hours, enemies. Former teammates together at Hearts in Scotland. Wonder if they'll pick each other up at set pieces again. Mitch Duke, a little shiner, earned last week after a brace against Adelaide United, which makes it 4 goals in his past 3 games. Chance to get to double figures for the campaign tonight as well. 6 others already there this Hyundai A-League season. Crowd building all of the time. They've been delayed outside, a lot of them. So it will be building over the next 10 or 15 minutes or so. Sellout crowd. House full sign is up again. East and West collide in Sydney South as Cogra hosts a derby for the first time. And doesn't it look a picture for the big occasion? Robbie Slater's been down there soaking up the atmosphere. Now he's ready to call the game alongside. What a night.
Absolutely brilliant atmosphere down there. And you could feel the tension in the warm-up from the players, the concentration. So much riding on this game, of course, for bragging rights, but also for the Wanderers to keep their season alive. They just need to keep on winning. And they're the only team to have beaten Sydney, so it puts an extra edge on this game.
Yeah, they're 5 points out of the 6 right now, but do have a game in hand on those clubs above them. And they've got a clash with Brisbane to look forward to next week. So a big opportunity over the next 7 days. We're underway in the 24th Sydney Derby. The in-form Wanderers getting things underway and looking to get Bruce Kamau on the front foot. What a breakout game he enjoyed last week.
Well, like so many of his teammates, it was a tremendous performance and a great game against Adelaide. A crazy game, but going forward, everything worked. And of course, they went 2-1 down, so the questions were out early. Could they respond? And they certainly did in style, and they've set themselves up in the best possible mood for this massive game.
Long throw from Kamau gave Duke a chance to bring it down for Cox, and he appreciated the effort of Kamau to find him. Bruce Kamau with 10 evades last week. That's the most since Daniel Arzani produced 11 3 or 4 years ago now. Sydney FC coming off a 3-0 win over the Mariners last week. It was 1-0 for a long time until the kids came off the bench to help seal victory. Bratt helping it into the stride of Baum-Johan. He'll be hearing the boos from the visiting fans tonight. Broken up by Sullivan. Turned over straight to Caceres though. pass. Lafondra inside to Grant, advanced. Now Ninkovic after the step over from the referee. And there's no foul there on the Serbian. Maestro and Cox chasing the long ball in behind McGowan. The support of Muller in the middle. Cox trying to open up the angle, will take on the strike, and Redmayne untroubled.
Yeah, just screwed that a little bit. Brilliant from transition. McGowan misread it. Ball over the top. Ninkovic hesitated. No foul there. Agree with the referee. Went down far too easily. And Cox was away. Comes inside. Always looking for that right foot. And that one, I'm pretty sure he's going for the far side and just screwed it. And very, very happily, Redmayne came straight at him.
Just as we saw in the round 3 derby, it's Ali Reza Fagani again in charge. Letting Milos Ninkovic know just that. Just moments ago, as you saw, turned over to Georgievski. He's able to get the better of Bratt. Wanderers played such attacking football last week. 4-2 up at half-time against the Reds. Johan almost in behind for Lafondra. Great stretch by the former Sky Blue, Matt Yerman. Played just shy of 100 games for tonight's opponent. Of championship-winning teammates from 26, 27 years ago. Steve Corica head-to-head with JP Di Marini. And won that 1993 grand final thanks to a clutch spot kick dispatched by Andy Harper, no less. Great photo in the pre-game of these two coaches alongside each other in the Marconi shirt all those years ago. Sullivan able to look forward again, well read by Grant. A flick from Duke. 17th derby tonight for Ryan Grant. Only veteran Janjetovic has played more. And a birthday during the week as well. Turned 29 on Wednesday, Ryan Grant. Foul on Caceres. Committed by Cox. He's holding up the restart. McGowan. Barbarousis had Yerman all over him. They're looking to look forward immediately. And here comes Redmayne getting in a pickle with his own teammate there. He wiped out Wilkinson. And a little apology as he gets back into position.
Well, once he made up his mind, he's just going through everyone. I'm not sure it was the right decision to come. But a straight pass into Barbarousis wasn't a good one from McGowan, and they looked to capitalise the Wanderers.
That could have opened up for the Wanderers, but the two Western Sydney players who were there just bailed out on it. Didn't want to get wiped out by Redmayne themselves. Pass forward. Duke putting one out in front of Georgievski. It'll hold up as well. Teammates getting into the area, but Georgievski stumbled on his own accord, according to the referee. Good feel about this game. Early on as Kamau won the ball, then went through. Ali Reza Fagani suggesting maybe there was an advantage accruing there for Sydney FC.
You see the referee Fagani's been a few challenges, one on Ninkovic, there was one on Muller before, one on Georgievski. He's letting it go. He's not getting fooled by plays going down too easy. Decent ball in, only one to hit Lafondra, and Sydney get the first corner. There's Redmayne, who came off his line, made the decision. That straight ball from McGowan into Barbarousis wasn't a good one, and look how far he's come. Cleaned up his captain. And you're right, the two Wanderers players just really ball watching. And you think if one of them puts themselves in the mix, Redmayne would have had a decision to make.
Now Johan to swing in the corner. No one at the drop for Sydney FC. Hooked back in by Grant, and Lopar able to make the save as we check in with Adam Peacock, soaking things up on the sideline.
Plenty to soak up as well, Speedy. It is cracking down here. Electric atmosphere because the Cove were in early, but the RBB, they were held out the front for a couple of minutes before. They had to congregate from here, there and everywhere getting off work. There was no march to the ground tonight, but so much noise at either end of the ground. It's fantastic.
Now Ninkovic. Too much on it for Lafondra.
And listen to Adam Peacock. So the stadium capacity, 20,500, and that's exactly what they're expecting. And you're right, it's still building. It's been a sloppy start from Sydney. Misplaced passes. And they came back, and that win over the Central Coast Mariners, the scoreline flattered them. There's no doubt about that. 2 late goals. And sometimes after that travel, it can take a week to regain your sharpness.
Grant hoping he might find Barbarousis, who was quiet last week and taken off early against the Central Coast. Now the old hat does get the decision here, which Sullivan didn't agree with.
And a big game for Sullivan. Comes into the team. Bacchus was a blow for them. So often the one in midfield that controls the tempo, Bacchus, and great acceleration as well. And again, Ninkovic with a sloppy touch.
The Wanderers outnumbering them in midfield at the moment, creating their fair share of turnovers. Chance for Duke to stride out, use Georgievski as a decoy. And a little bobble might have cost him there.
Well, it's not really, well, maybe the bobble as well, but he didn't shift the ball enough. He's looking for the top right-hand corner. And as he shifted it, still stayed too straight. Couldn't wrap his boot around it. And that was a decent situation developing there. They were probably 4-on-4. Mitch Duke takes the option to go for goal.
Has scored 13 goals in his 28 games for the Wanderers. Great strike rate. He'd scored 13 goals in his previous 67 games. Many of those as a substitute with the Mariners all those years ago. Straight out play from Redmayne. Sydney FC on that record-breaking pace. 14 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat for 43 points, the most ever after 16 games in an A-League campaign. Fonda going down, looking for the free kick. Throw-in awarded to Western Sydney. Sydney FC beating their previous record. Great achievement from Steve Corica. He's got a fantastic record as head coach, 31 wins, 10 defeats. Caceres, neatly done. And Bratton, important little challenge from Schwiegler, and it broke the way of Kamau. Cox let it run for Duke, looking for a teammate this time. He'll find Muller. Plenty of numbers in the box again, and they'll get a corner out of this one.
Oh, just as he goes to pull the trigger there, Muller slips. Because it set up nicely for him. Good little burst here from Kamau. Look how they're getting space between the lines. Little dummy from Cox. Then Muller's in that space. Decent first touch. Sets it up for the volley and slips at that crucial moment.
If the Wanderers can score 2 goals tonight, they'll get to 300 A-League goals, 1 game quicker than Sydney FC did. A milestone, potentially. The victory is all they want as Muller delivers. Away by Lafondra, straight back to the German set-piece taker, who drives into the area, across the face, could have gone anywhere, and it's out for another corner.
Well, the second phase of that corner, I'm not sure who it was that closed down Muller. You see there, he's made his run, got it all wrong, and just opened that little channel for Muller to stride into. Low and hard, and Redmayne gets down well.
Defending in front of the Cove as Muller delivers again. Nudged out of it was Ziegler. And here's Barbarousis, who was the man guilty of that defensive work a moment ago. And how does the referee see this one? Yellow card is going to come out for the cynical drag back. Worried about being out of position and thinking there was a counter-attack brewing, and Pierman Schwiegler, who's committed more fouls than anyone else this A-League season, is in the book already.
Yeah, the counter-attack wasn't on. I mean, he would have got away from Schwiegler, there's no doubt. But the Wanderers had plenty of defenders back, so unnecessary that.
King takes the set piece, dealt with by Ziegler. Bratton back to his feet in a hurry. Tough one for Barbarouses to control. McGowan aggressively defending, and Muller went down looking for a free kick. He didn't get one either. You've got to earn your free kicks tonight in the derby.
Well, he went down very late as he realised his ball wasn't the best one. The referee, at every occasion, letting the game flow.
Sloppy from Barbarouses again. Wanderers looking sharper. Hunting back-to-back derby wins for the first time in 6 years. Western Sydney. On the team with the best attacking record and the best defensive record this season. Just holding up play here so that Schwiegler can sort out his footwear. Let's get down to Adam again.
Steve Corica increasingly frustrated. Robbie Stanton, his assistant, just got up to say something tactical to him just after that ball was given away by Sydney FC. And Corica just turned around. Can't repeat everything he said, but the word quicker was certainly used. A few others used around it.
Yeah, and that'd be in relation to the ball speed. Their passes have been sloppy and been cut out already, although it's only early. 5 or 6 times the Wanderers have been able to intercept passes.
Grant, a few anxious looks over the shoulder. The challenge came from behind by Duke. He rode through that one. Again, it's a slow pass to Ninkovic. He's got King overlapping. Clever little pullback. Got away from Barbarouses. Kept it alive for Bratton. Now Grant fired in and helped on by Lafondra, but McGowan has made a good start to this game. In the road again. Ninkovic, little flick. Taken away by Kamau. Won back quickly by Ninkovic. Whipped in early. And again, it's McGowan with the important touch onto Georgievski.
And Grant just on his heels there. Georgievski was on his own, and Grant was really in no man's land. Should have been attacking that ball as it flew past Lafondra.
Sullivan being applauded by his coach, and he is not allowing Baumjohann to turn.
No, and Baumjohann taking too much time, too many touches. He needed one touch and just lay that ball off.
Can you try too hard against your former club sometimes?
Definitely.
Easy turn for Lafondra, who remains the leader in the Golden Boot race by 1 from Jamie McLaren, who returns to action this weekend with Melbourne City. Baumjohann trying to fire it in the top corner. They backed off. That time Sullivan was nowhere near him and nearly punished.
Yeah, for once, for the first time, he gets the ball and he's able to face forward. Really just strode into that space. Plenty of power. He gets under it.
He's had 4 Man of the Match awards already this season. Only Diego Castro has had more in our Alex Tobin votes. Duke trying to get into double figures tonight, and Lafondra, who was goalless last week against the Mariners, looking to add to his 15 in 16 now. Muller gliding past Ninkovic. Kamau, chance to take on King and Ninkovic, and now Duke opening up the angle, deflection, and Redmayne had an anxious look, hoping it would go wide, and it did.
Well, he collects the ball from Kamau, and he's got far too much time. Sydney don't close him down. A little turn. You can see as he takes his first touch, which is a good one, it sets it up for the next one, which is the strike and the deflection. And Redmayne was looking nervously over his shoulder as that ball looped over the bar.
And they opened the scoring last week with a heavily deflected free kick against the Reds. Tiemann Schwiegler credited with his first A-League goal. Pressure on Redmayne, referee ensuring that he's not blocked off here. Whipped in by Muller, and Redmayne able to claim amongst all that traffic. He's #1 in that category amongst goalkeepers this season. Successful claims. Grant trying to drop it in for Lafondra. Well read by Georgievski.
Yeah, and just look as that ball is headed down. The Sydney midfield, Ninkovic, Bowenham, still practically on the halfway line.
Schwiegler found. They want to get Kamau advance down that right-hand side. Sydney FC, it looks like they're set up to try and negate Kamau's impact this week after what he did a week ago.
Well, they won't want to give him the space that Adelaide certainly gave him, but credit to him, he was on his game. So even when he had players in front of him, he was beating them. So what you want to do is try and get Kamau on the ball one-on-one.
Yeah, that live ladder, both teams credited with a point right now, 22 points between them, but a win for the Wanderers would be huge to close the gap on Brisbane.
And they play Brisbane next week.
Yep. Playing on a Friday night again. The 3rd week in a row, Western Sydney. Now Johan. Opposite number, Georgievski went with him and poked it away. One back by Ninkovic. Bratton has numbers on the right, slides it in. Lafondra blazes over. He had more time than that. And he's upset with himself for not at least testing Lopa.
Well, it's a brilliant chance. And the turn was first class, but the finish wasn't. Great ball in from Bratton. Muller was staying down. Look at this ball in from Bratton. Brilliant, great first touch. Should have at least hit the target, and you feel that trajectory, if he hits the target, he scores. Lopa wouldn't have got there.
It was an awkward fall, as we captured there on the Fox Sports cameras for Nikolai Muller. He's going to soldier on. Remember, he was brought in when Majewski went down with an ACL in the FFA Cup. And that looked like it had the potential for a serious injury as well, so great to see him moving okay. Scored a handful of goals this season already. Nikolai Muller made his debut the game after that round 3 derby. Bratton denied a sensational assist moments ago. Tries to set up Lafondra again. Dealt with defensively by Ziegler.
Yeah, good defending, because you can see Lafondra's intention is to cushion that one, and he thinks he'll get skip away from Ziegler, but Ziegler read it well. Sydney just starting to build a bit of momentum. Both teams defensively have been happy to drop off just over the halfway line.
to Grant. Mitch Duke has just dropped into the hole trying to negate what Bratton's been doing the last couple of minutes. Now he's on the ball and forced backwards this time. Ninkovic working hard, likewise Ziegler. Free kick given for that challenge from behind by Ziegler. They are packed in on the hill here at Cogra. Great view for them of this impending set piece. Johan didn't get hold of it, but flicked on. And on target as well from Le Fondre.
Yeah, it wasn't the best of free kicks. Le Fondre makes something of it. It's too flat, not enough height.
Bodies scattering everywhere with that set piece as well. It's such a feature of the modern game, all the blocking that goes on with those set pieces. Of course, the Mariners denied a goal that they thought was fair against Sydney FC last week for an offside blocker. Free kick has to be taken from the right spot.
Well, or pretty close to the right spot.
Great energy in the stands. Likewise on the pitch. Opening quarter of the game has flown by. Versus on the right-hand side, where he tends to be most comfortable. What a ball attempted by Johan. Nearly picked out Barbarouses. Not many see that pass. So Johan does. Here he is again, found by Bratton. Place pass behind Barbarouses that time.
But he's getting more on the ball, looking to play forward, trying to get it into feet, get a bouncer.
He's got 5 assists and 7 secondary assists so far this season. Johan, after the Wanderers were happy to let him go, wasn't functioning under Marcus Babbel's side, but has turned into a game changer for Sydney FC this season under Corica. Working hard, the Wanderers, in this opening 25 minutes. So many players committed forward here. Look at that front four, if you like. Duke found Kamau, and Redmayne will pluck that one too.
And that's where you want Kamau to go further. Now, that's a difficult place to make a goal-scoring chance, and he's got so much speed. He had Joel King isolated there at left fullback. Given his form from last week, you fancy him to take him on, and I think it was Cox that went into the space behind Joel King. He needs to just stay away. When you get Kamau one-on-one, just leave them isolated. Leave him isolated on his fullback.
Yeah, that performance against the Reds last week had Mark Bosnich talking Socceroos for Kamau. I'm sure it would not have missed Graham Arnold's vision. Here's a right back of the Socceroos, of course. Ryan Grant turning it over to Sullivan. Duke looking to surge forward. Cox is on his bike through the middle.
Just a bit slow there in transition. Ball to Kamau really slowed down the attack.
Sullivan trying to keep it going with Muller, who's got Kamau as an option again. Can Kamau dish up this time? Lovely move. The cutback. And a big chance here. Muller blocked by Bratton. Thought Sullivan looked a better option to take on the strike.
And you see what Kamau can do when he gets one-on-one. Dropped his shoulder. He's around King.
Sullivan's highest would have been lining up, yet to score an A-League goal, but Muller, with the seniority, took it on himself. Urging Georgievski to close the space in front of Grant. Both coaches working their technical areas in the derby, keeping their players honest out there. No chance of that pass coming off. Easy read for Yerman.
Here. There wasn't much of it. But intelligently drops into that space.
As the ball was coming as well, had a look over his shoulder and realised he could turn to face forward. And his brother in the end, who muscled Barbarouses out of it. Chance to check in with Adam again.
Thanks, Speedy. Just on Luke Bratton, he's doing something wonderful in a couple of weeks out of something so horrible. His sister Holly has a rare form of leukemia, so those locks you see on Luke Bratton, they're gone. March 13, he's doing the world's greatest shave, so check it out on his Instagram account to help him out and raise some much-needed funds into research into that insidious disease.
Here's Caceres, and a little deflection on the way through. Lopa had to be very careful.
Edge of the box, plenty of time. And the deflection just takes a bit of the pace off it, but Lopa was always favourite.
I did want to see that. The flare has gone off amongst the travelling supporters. Georgievski. No way past Ryan McGowan. Wanderers have taken 4 points out of 6 in the last 2 derbies. It was a 1-1 draw in the last meeting last season. And Muller, oh, back off the crossbar. He had Redmayne beaten. And that is the strike of the night so far from the German number 9.
Brilliant strike from Nikolai Muller. Outside of the box, it's got swerve, it's got dip, but it just doesn't have enough dip. It's got Redmayne beaten and crashes against the crossbar. Brilliant technique. Look at the bend on that. Just wouldn't dip enough for him to go underneath that crossbar.
Crossbar and Sydney FC rattled at the moment. Remains goalless in the 24th Sydney derby. Ziegler keeping Barbarouses quiet at the moment. Dropped into space, but Sullivan able to step up. Just overhit as he looked to get Muller going. And Johan able to turn. Lovely exchange of passes between Grant and Baum Johan. Right back keeps the move going. Ninkovic opens up the angle for the shot and almost surprised Lopar. Lafondra following in. It's a good save in the end by the Swiss shot stopper. Lafondra just overhit for Ninkovic, who was in space, back post.
Well, I think he sees it late, Lopar. There wasn't a lot of power. Ninkovic just shifts this ball onto his right foot and he dives late. It's one hand to it.
He was brilliant in round 3. So many shots fired in by Sydney FC. But unable to find a way past. Can he keep another clean sheet here tonight? Bratt advanced and tripped up by Sullivan before he eventually blew the whistle.
Sullivan is treading on his heels at the end result. It'll drag back as well. Long way from goal.
The Wanderers concede the most fouls in the A-League, Sydney FC the least. So far in this game, look at that, 6 blocks in terms of fouls conceded.
Difficult, it's fairly central, this one for Domyahan. Get an angle on this.
Lifting it in, it'll be easy for Lopar. And Muller is saying, go long early. Put some pressure on Wilkinson, who stands up to the task as he does so often, the veteran centre half. Pretty congested on that left-hand side. Ninkovic knows that. Happy to recycle.
Well, they certainly had more success in stopping the supply line into Ninkovic than they have. Domyahan's been much more prominent in this right-hand channel.
Fantastic, hasn't he?
Yep.
Getting forward here. Ninkovic will go back to King. It's a back for Barbarouses. Awkward for McGowan. To get it out for another corner.
It goes into that near post area. McGowan skews off the outside of his boot. Lafondra chooses not to go near post. He normally likes that kind of run.
Barbarouses makes the move near post. Trying to leave it open for McGowan to attack, but Yerman first to the ball. Floated wide by Bratton. Well wide in the end. Rare misplaced pass from the number 26. Possession stat growing in the favour of Sydney FC as this half wears on. Nearly 2/3 of it for the Sky Blues. Leading the shot count as well, 7-4. Edging the territory. No goals to show for it. And Muller was so close to a spectacular opener for the red and black. Off the bar from 25 metres. Late challenge from Sullivan, who's going to be walking a tightrope at the moment after a couple of his challenges. Bratt. Radar is back. Ninkovic able to run onto it. Barbarouses timed his run. And again, Yerman keeps it away.
Yeah, good defending, not allowing Lafondra to get a crossing. Bratton really showing off his range of passing short and long so far in this first half. He's been the dominant figure in the middle of the park.
Somehow kept alive by King. Wanderers weren't sure where it was. Now Johan let it run, clattered by Georgievski. And the free kick has been presented. The Sydney FC players were hoping the advantage might have gone on a little longer as it rebounded kindly for Lafondra.
Well, certainly this one closer, central again, but I expect someone to be shooting from here. Strong challenge.
Given the benefit of the doubt so far as a booking is concerned there, Daniel Georgievski, who once won a Joe Marston medal in a losing grand final side against Sydney FC across town at the old Allianz. Bratton placed it. Now Johan fancies it. Is Bratton going to pull rank here? It is going to be Luke Bratton. And Lopard, did he get a fingertip on it? No. So just wide from long range.
And you can see how he scrambles across his line, how worried he was about it. Really whipped that past the wall, and as it skids off the surface, it's only going one way.
On that side of the wall, wasn't he, Lopar? Saw it all the way. Bratton landed it just short of a length. If he had got it on target, would have been tough to handle for Lopar. Bratton, terrific ball again. Johan took it in his stride. And Yerman upended him, won it cleanly.
Yeah, great tackle. A brilliant turn from Johan. Can they do something in transition, the Wanderers?
Great find, Kamal. Trickled it through to Muller, and now Georgievski floating one. Redmayne backtracks, and did he carry it across the line? The assistant had a good look at it, and only half-hearted appeals from the Wanderers.
Oh, it's a poor cross from Georgievski. He's got his head up, he's looking for Kamau, completely mishits it, and nearly.
Wowee. The old ball across the line, and a derby again, Robbie. You get out there and demonstrate?
No, certainly not.
VAR would have had a little look at it, but nothing conclusive to award a goal to Western Sydney. But he wouldn't want it over again, would he? The shot stopper. Muller, found by Sullivan. Lovely ball slid through, trying to do the same for Duke. It may have been borderline offside.
Yeah, it would have been, but it was a good idea. Duke maybe just went a little bit early, but Muller got himself in between the lines, face forward, and he's so direct. It would have been offside had he got there.
Harder than it looks to stay onside in that situation, Robbie. We all get frustrated watching on. Being out there, it's a different kettle of fish. Kamau with speed, poked away by King. What the Wanderers fans watching on Fox Sports are thinking about this. Did it cross the line here with that last little beat? See the Photoshop gurus just working Robbie Slater out there, just having him have a close look at it, forensic examination. I'm with you though, did not cross the line. May have hovered over it though. Scrapping midfield again, it's Sullivan who wins out. And Cox, who's been quiet, works it to Georgievski. Back to Cox. Kamau He's in space. He tried to keep it through the middle. Now he uses the right back, who thought Duke was going to present in the pocket there. And Kamau's going to go into the book here. Another challenge that didn't really need to be made.
No, because he had plenty of bodies. Once you put your arm up and then over someone like that, there's only one result.
Two cautions so far for very similar challenges by Kamau and Schwegler. There was a time, Robbie, where Sydney FC were wiping the floor with the Wanderers, but this has been a really even contest.
Yeah, a real tactical contest as well. And I think Jean-Paul de Marigny would like to get Georgievski and Kamau more involved.
Nice reverse ball found King, but again, so many bodies in the road. Important little phase before half-time, he says. All 5 derby wins for the Wanderers have come when they've kept a clean sheet. They're nearly halfway to another one here. Everything into it, but Barbarouses was offside by about 10 metres. Getting away from McGowan, who nearly ran into trouble. Now Johan trying to pick his pocket. It worked out for Western Sydney. Sullivan taking the game on again. Was he expecting that pass from Muller? Perhaps not.
I don't think he was. Didn't expect the one coming back to him.
Ceres, we've seen him play as a 10 a lot lately, but playing in the 6th role. So you see with those 2 defensive midfielders, the 2 attacking midfielders, then the 2 strikers. The formation they play right throughout the club as well. Their academy sides. Advantage being signalled. Didn't really accrue. Referee said too bad when the Wanderers won it back. There'll be hell to pay from the Sydney FC fans if it leads to a goal at the other end. It just might as well. Muller found Duke and nearly repeats the dose from the round 3 derby with a flying header. And couldn't direct it on target this time.
It's a good chance. Muller picks him out. Saw him there. He's in plenty of space and free header. And glances off the side of his head. That's a terrific chance on the counter for the Wanderers. Steve Corica was up to the 4th official. He was furious. Still is.
Fagani pointing out, look, I played the advantage and Barbarouses blew it by coughing up possession. Sometimes you see the advantage last a little bit longer, though. That's the point Sydney FC are making. Lafondra nicked it around Georgievski. Barbarouses makes his move back post. Lafondra found him. Barbarouses couldn't direct it in the bottom corner. Sydney FC that close to the opening goal on the stroke of half-time.
Best chance of the half for Sydney FC. What a miss from Barbarouses. Never looked confident, didn't he? It's a brilliant play from Lafondra. And a great run from Barbarouses. Peels off to the back post. And he gets caught a bit square to the ball. He just can't hook it around into that far corner as Lopar was rooted to his spot.
A situation when he wanted the roles reversed. Barbarouses setting up Lafondra. It may have been a different story. And it's goalless at half-time in the derby. Sydney FC with a couple of chances, but the Wanderers came closer than anyone. Nikolai Muller's strike cannoning back off the crossbar. That close to his 6th A-League goal. And the first in a derby. At the break at Cogra, it's 0-0. Let's get down to Adam.
Speedy, thank you. Great opportunity at the end there. Adam Lafondra, best of the half.
Yeah, you know, we've created a couple of good opportunities, one for me, one for Costa. Obviously, it would have been nice to go in 1-0. I think we've dominated the ball well, and, you know, we've moved it around well. We just need to create a few more chances and then put them away.
What do you say about, for the majority of that half, good at the end, but the sharpness overall?
Yeah, I think we're moving it really well. We're moving it crisp. We're getting between the lines, and, you know, it's just maybe the end product is a little bit off at the minute, of the cross or the shot. But I'm sure it's all things that can be corrected.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Simon Cox over here, Wanderers side of things. How do you feel about that half of football?
It was tough. You know, they dominated for most of the half. We need to be a lot calmer in possession. But we showed when we are calm in possession, we can open them up. We just need to be very clinical in front of the goal second half. You know, we will go in at half-time, regroup, and we'll go again.
Really close attention paid to Ninkovic and Bum Johan. Tactic, I would say. Can you confirm?
No, we don't go out to stop anyone from playing. We just obviously know that they're very good players and that we have to be on our game when they get the ball.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for your time. We are off to a break like the players. Back in a moment here live on Fox Sports, because we've got a great halftime coming up. The analysis with Bozza, Alex Brosk, and also Robbie Slater in either dressing room with the dressing room report. And don't forget, tomorrow, this is on the way live on Fox Sports.
Trouble is looming. Riley McGree has a double. Oh, that's a yellow card. Look out, it's on. Miliošević scores for Adelaide United. What a 1-2 and make it 2-0. Useful delivery and Blackwoods. With a final touch. Unbelievable. The original rivalry explodes again. What a first-time strike from Ulla Toivonen.
Left or left? Oh. Okay. No, there's so many of them over there. Have a go on. All right, you too.
Okay.
3 weeks. It's just me and you.
You gonna light up on that?
Nick. Somebody's personal goods.
Camera 11, right? Yeah, that's correct. 11. Mic check if you want. 1, 2, 1.
Hello, Jay. Hello, Jay. Hello, Jay. Jay.
Hey. You got me there, Jay? Yep, sweet. Yeah.
I said, let's watch players. Support the team, don't let off any flares.
Welcome back to Fox Sports Live and exclusive coverage of the Sydney Derby here from Cogra in Sydney South. 0-0, half-time. Sydney FC with the glut of possession, a couple of chances fashioned out of that. Western Sydney Wanderers playing on the break ostensibly, and a couple of big chances, including Nikolai Muller rattling the crossbar. Adam Peacock alongside Mark Bostic. We'll get to the sheds in a moment with a half-time report. Robbie Slater in with the Wanderers and Alex Brosk in with Sydney FC. But Bozza, we'll start with the close attention paid, especially to Sydney's midfield. You'd expect it in a derby, but Sydney, according to Ali Reza Fagani, hasn't given away a foul. It's 9-0. Is that unfair?
I don't think so. You have to understand as well, number one, derby. So that's understandable. Number two, the way that Sydney play is based on their possession. It's not based on basically closing people down and getting in people's faces, where in this game in particular, Western Sydney Wanderers have turned it into a bit of a battle. And I thought they started off the better of the two teams. And they're also showing Sydney FC in that first 20 minutes. I spoke about that before the game, Anna, how important it is to assert yourself. They're trying to assert themselves onto Sydney FC. And to be fair, I've not seen one challenge that I'd said, that was really malicious. Kamau, I think, was the only one, correct me if I'm wrong, who got a yellow card. And I think that was about right. And he was unlucky to get the yellow card. It was more for a professional foul.
And Schwegler
as well. So they're trying to impose themselves in their way. Sydney's trying to do it in their way. For me, it makes for absolutely fantastic viewing. A lot of people turn around and say about the quality. Well, look, I challenge anyone when somebody's coming at them 100 miles an hour to be able to do things that it will open up in the second half. But it's a typical derby and really enjoying it.
It did open up towards the back end of that second half. Sydney FC's good moments. Yeah. Why did they come about in your opinion?
They come about because of their patience and because of the way that Stephen Corica likes his side to play. He likes to, if you like, intimidate you through his football. So they like to keep passing. And eventually, if you don't get the ball back and keep possession yourself, it does wear yourself down. And if you remember early on, Adam, Western Sydney Wanderers were dealing with pretty much everything. And you're looking going, you know what, if this keeps going, they're not going to get a chance. But what I was really, really happy with Sydney from their perspective is that they kept on doing the right things. And they realised, like anyone does in football, that teams cannot go with them for the whole 45 minutes of a half and keep closing down. There's going to be times when the chances open up, and they did open up, especially towards the end. I thought he should hit the target there.
Wanderers, they're playing deep. I mean, Robbie Slater's mentioned that. Yeah. But when they break, they have been getting numbers forward, like 5 forward, not just 2.
They have. There've been times when there's been 5, sometimes even 6 at them, and you're right. And I thought they started the better of the two sides. And look, they've got their game plan. They're trying to control Sydney in their way, which is from a defensive perspective. As they do push deeper, it does make it harder for those players to break from such a greater distance. But basically, in the first half, I've got to say, in terms of their energy, because there's been times where they've been under constant pressure, and I thought that was mighty close. Up until that chance for Sydney right at the end, that was the closest that either side came, to be honest. He saw him off his line, but Andrew Redmayne was right back for it. Other than those moments, Adam, like I said, we talked about their plan. They've just got to be a little bit careful. It's only understandable because Sydney have got 2 lightning-quick players up front that they do push back. But this is where Lopar, the goalkeeper, and the central defenders, the 3 of them, I've got to say no, because we saw this pitch being wet before the game. Do you know what a ball it takes to get it between the goalkeeper when the pitch is wet and the last line? It must be an absolute amazing ball, 1 in 1,000. So they've got to keep pushing up so when the play does break down, they can break and they don't have to go as long, because as the game wears on, that energy is going to become less and less.
Just quickly, what's the absolute key for either side as this second half starts?
First of all, Western Sydney Wanderers, just to cover what I just said, not to get too deep. Also, not to get into the habit that it's like defence versus attacker training, that we're just defending. Keep a positive mindset. Go to yourself, we can assert ourselves by keeping possession as well. In terms of Sydney, they need to be patient, just like they've been done. And they also need to try something a little bit different. And what I mean by that, they love getting into those little pockets in between the edge of the box and the 6-yard box. Sometimes, every now and then, instead of going down there, we might come out the other way, go down the other side and put a cross in, just so we move those defenders all around.
Let's get inside the sheds. Firstly, Robbie Slater with the Wanderers.
Yeah, inside the Wanderers sheds, there a lot of positive energy here, and the boys are ready. There's only a couple of minutes to go. I don't know what the message was, but it looks very, very positive. Over to Broski, who's in the Sydney FC dressing rooms.
Yeah, just having heard Bimby and his chat, he says that to the boys, he feels they're in control of the game. He says that they're playing with high intensity. He wants it to continue and to be relentless against the Wanderers. He wants a few more balls into the 10s, into Ninkovic and Bom Johan if he can, and then runs forward from there and out wide. So he feels that the pressure's good and the goal is coming.
Great stuff, and thanks to both sides for that access. We're off to a short break here from Cogra. Second half of the Sydney Derby is on the way. Can Sydney FC continue their dominance of the last few seasons as they rub it into Wanderers with all their Youth League, W League, A-League trophies out there? Or will Wanderers make it 2 in a row in this one after winning in round 3? Back in a moment to find out.
I had.
Corica test.
I did.
Hello, Steve Corica test.
Is that you, Robbie? Is that you, Speedy?
Yeah.
It's Phil downstairs. How you doing?
Hey, mate.
Yeah, good. You good?
Yeah, good.
Here
Yeah,
we
good.
go.
Pretty good.
We're very close.
Okay, thanks.
His headset's turned up.
Welcome back to Cogra. Second half about to get underway in the Sydney Derby. And Sydney FC's coach, Steve Corica, good enough to join us. How did you see that first half, Coach?
I was happy with it, actually. It was good performance with the ball. There's a couple of things that we want to do a little bit more in forward runs get in behind them a little bit more, but I think we dominate mostly with the ball, and we just got to make sure we don't switch off defensively when we have so much possession.
And those youngsters who sealed the game last week, available again, you have the trust in them in a derby?
Yeah, definitely. I think this is a great game for them when it's going to open up. A lot of pace from Marco Tilio and Van der Starg and Trent Bahaja, so that could be the trick towards the end of the game.
Yeah, we're looking forward to this second half. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Sydney FC dominating possession as they did throughout that first half as well. Bratton was influential. Johan tried hard. There's Caceres tidying up in midfield again. Able to surge and flick one over the top. Lafondra, and it almost broke for Barbarouses.
It came to him too quickly. He's trying to cushion this one for himself. There's no question they were both onside. All right, that ball could have fallen to Barbarouses.
Awkward one for Caceres, misjudging it in flight. Broke the way of Cox. King wasn't used as a left back in round 3. Remember, Paulo Retre started in that unfamiliar position and made the mistake that led to the only goal of the game. It's almost deemed as though King wasn't quite ready for that stage, but he's flourishing tonight, isn't he, the teenager?
And he has done for quite some time now. I was just speaking to Michael Zullo down in the tunnel. He said he's very close, so there'll be pressure for that position.
Yeah, training during the week. You could see Zullo was bouncing around, ready to put his hand up for selection, perhaps in the Champions League or in the Big Blue next weekend. Nikovic didn't pull the trigger for Barbarouses on that right-hand side. Bratton takes on the strike from an ambitious kind of range.
Yeah, trying to surprise Lopar there, so he got his head up. Well off target. Maybe there was better options around him. Sydney FC dominating certainly the first half with the ball. Bratton was outstanding in that first half. Wanderers always look dangerous in transition. It's nicely set up. Both teams did have chances.
Sydney FC on that 11-game winning streak in home games, already an A-League record. Can the Wanderers bring that to an end tonight? It's a Sydney FC throw, and King's body language suggested it might have been a Wanderers. JP didn't really under control. Making a great fist as the interim boss, hoping to land the job full time. Couldn't have done much more so far, Rob.
Certainly the players have reacted. The performance said a lot last week.
Duke trying to run away from Bratton. Georgievski, always an outlet into the stride of Sullivan. Protects it well. Came back onto his arm. And that's why the handball is given. A lot of that, hasn't there? Attempted through balls by Sydney FC, coming straight back to them. And the Wanderers' defence clear. Nikovic challenged from behind. Muller helps him back to his feet. And Muller in the road there. A lot of energy shown by the attackers for Western Sydney to lead the defensive effort from the front.
They've been good at that. Muller, Mitchell Duke, Simon Cox.
Nikovic trot on the ball. According to the referee, who had the late bailout, maybe tipped up by the fourth official, Stephen Lucas, that was indeed a foul on the number 10.
It was so tight down this left-hand side. Nikovic rolls that one. Did leave the leg in there. It's got a yellow card as well. Certainly wasn't a yellow card offence.
Again, there's Sullivan into the back of Baumjohann, creating a turnover. No whistle for the former Wanderer. Georgievski. A neat turn on the edge of his own area by McGowan. Likewise, Ninkovic with Kamau at his back. Caceres. Baumjohann in behind of Yerman when Barbarouses picking up the angle to really test Lopa.
Barbarouses in behind German. Lafondra wanted that one across the face, didn't he? Took the shot on near post, Lopa easily smothering it.
Georgievski all alone if he wants to hit the other wing back on the other side. Kamau keeps on going. Bruce Kamau nearly dragged it away from McGowan. Stood up at the end. Now Baumjohann around Yerman, trying to turn on the afterburners. Baumjohann, great recovery from Yerman. Did he play it out off Baumjohann? You bet he did.
What a brilliant recovery. Now Baumjohann gives him a chance. He edged away, but Yerman stayed determined. Not only does he get the tackle and he gets the rebound, and it goes for a goal kick. Good play there from Baumjohann. Yerman committing himself. Then that hesitation, and Yerman just keeps going. Determined and perfectly timed tackle.
Looking forward to match day Saturday tomorrow. Double header coming your way. Perth Glory on the road to take on the Newcastle Jets, and then the original rivalry, the Melbourne Victory against Adelaide United. And Ryan McGowan will be breaking down the derby as well with a special guest on the couch tomorrow after getting the recovery in the morning. Sullivan again used his body cleverly. First foul against Sydney FC there. Barbarouses might have gotten away with one. A look pass inside to Baumjohann. Grant. Lafondra makes his move. McGowan cut it out.
They've defended their penalty box really well. Western Sydney Wanderers occupying the space.
Now King to the feet. Ninkovic. Baumjohann. First touch wasn't what he was after. Counter-attack is on here. Georgievski flying down that left-hand side. Muller just ran into trouble in the end. A great read by Caceres. Won it cleanly. Gets it back from Baumjohann. He's done some pretty handy things down that right-hand side earlier in the campaign. Has to keep his discipline here tonight. Does Caceres. Now Baumjohann standing it up, floating it, and Lopa, aware that his post was getting in the road, palmed it out for the corner in the end, but it was awkward.
Yeah, couldn't take any chances. He's not sure where this is going. He's tried to clip this one to the back post and just overdone it. He'd have been offside had Barbarouses got anything on that, but he was worried that that was going to drop in underneath his crossbar.
And Kamau was worried that he might get found out there because of injury. That's why Barbarouses was in behind him. He has left. That is so unfortunate, the form that he's in. To pick up an injury right now, and Tate Russell is on. Sloppy by Baumjohann. An attacking corner, they're all the way back into their own half. Briefly. pass inside by Caceres. One back quickly by Grant. Bratt fires one across the Balmiohan. Looking for goal when Grant was all alone on the far side. Just the 4 A-League goals so far for Balmiohan. One as a Sydney FC player. Bruce Kamau breaking the news to his coach about what is frustrating him so much right now. For more on that, let's get down to Adam.
Yeah, adductor, Speedy. Unfortunately, you can see the frustration in the guy as well. Bruce Kamau, pretty good nick after last week's demolition of Adelaide, but not sure the severity's stayed out here, which is maybe a good sign. But yeah, hopefully it's not too bad yet. But right adductor inside of the thigh.
Foul by Barbarouses.
Oh, that kind of ball from Caceres, it's not going to trouble Western Sydney.
Georgievski. Little poke inside to Muller, and it deflected out for a corner.
Well, he hit the crossbar in the first half, and that was a good little position he got himself into. Looking for the same, looking for that top corner, top right-hand corner, big deflection.
That attack sprung after the first foul that Sydney FC have committed so far in this game. Approaching the hour mark. Chance to spark wild celebrations amongst the RBB and all those fans in red and black here as Muller delivers. Away by King. Georgievski, did Muller get back on side? Doesn't matter now. Taken goal kick by Sydney FC, but now the patient approach. Just the one goal settled the derby in round 3. It's got that feel again, Robbie.
Yeah, it's got certainly that feel. There's not going to be a lot in it. Who can produce the moment?
Couple of superstars in the house. Jake Trbojevic in the silver hoodie down low, and Tommy Trbojevic. And there's their little brother, who's a very good friend of Harry van der Sark. That's why they're here to watch tonight, to cheer on H, as they call him. And as Steve Corica revealed, it'll probably be a chance to get another 20-minute cameo or so as Georgievski strikes, and Redmayne very confident in his angles, just watched it.
Because you can see the movement of Redmayne. He's about to dive, and in the end, he lets it go. Let's see how close it was. Oh, it's quite some distance, so he's read that well. But dangerous. They allowed him inside into his stronger foot.
Last derby, we had a couple of GWS giants in the house. Now we've got a couple of State of Origin and Australian superstars. Players from other sports are envious of the derby atmosphere, aren't they, Robbie?
Well, they'll certainly be enjoying it. I was down there at half-time. It is a terrific atmosphere.
Another foul committed by Sullivan. He's had the watching brief on Balmiohan all night.
Both teams fairly comfortable, and it just needs one of these teams to really take the initiative, up the tempo. Tempo's been quite slow. the second half. Almost you feel a fear of losing the derby.
Duke nudged off it by Caceres. And then kicked the ball away. And giving it back to Alireza Fagani.
It's not a wise idea.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. Lets him off without a caution, but let him know who was boss. Ziegler, misplaced pass intended for Sullivan. Sydney FC looking to go quickly here, shoulder to shoulder. Strongly done by Cox. Johan on the deck again.
Another missed pass, and that's where they've got to be better. Both sides.
What a touch by Ninkovic. Doesn't he treat the fans to terrific skill? A little ripple of applause there. Not sure many saw the little toe poke over the top of Duke there. A little 2-inch toe poke to control the ball. JP DeMarini talking it over with Stephen Lucas, the fourth official. A bit of frustration around. Side of the pitch is open. King keen to explore. Look at the ball. What a terrific pass by the left back. Right out in front of Lafondra. Back post. Head up! And wide. That was celebrating the Sydney FC fans. Milos Ninkovic that close to his second derby goal.
Well, started right back in their own half. And what a pass from Joel King. Great run as well from Lafondra. And you look at the run of Ninkovic is a good one as well. He just goes around the back, perfect cross, and instead of heading it back from where it's come from, he tries to sneak it in at the near post. In fact, he doesn't really get a good connection on it. And that's a real let-off for the Wanderers. Best chance of the half.
His first A-League goal was a late winner in the round 3 derby in the first season he played down under. And he hasn't scored in this fixture since. He's had a few chances tonight. I reckon 3,000 or 4,000 fans were up thinking that was hit the back of the net there, Robert. Wanderers looking for a decent spell of possession here. Georgievski held things up initially. Now finds Sullivan, who's a really tidy technician on the ball, but he gave it away again. A little clumsy by Georgievski. And Grant looking to get the ball back and moving again, does so. In behind, not quite the angle for Barbarouses.
Ball was on, just overhits it. Smart from Ryan Grant, plays it quick. And that's what they've got to do, both sets of plays. You get the chance, play it quick, play it forward.
Terrific noise right throughout this game tonight. Duke going under King. It's an easy decision. Duke's always under King, aren't they, Robbie, in the ranking?
Very well done.
I'm here all week. Caceres working hard to present in the centre circle, turned down by Grant. Bratton, oh, terrific range over the top. They want handball. It's play on for now. And Russell will track it down. Fresh legs. Got in a tangle at the key moment. And that's got to be a booking. He's been asking for one all night. Then he kicks the ball away afterwards as well. But Nick Sullivan knew that was coming.
And Damian, good use of the body, just skipped around him. Sullivan was letting him go nowhere. Well, he took that ball, bum your hand on the back foot.
And that's a miss for Sullivan not to be in the book already, in my opinion. That's 5 fouls committed by him, all on Balmjohan from memory as well. That previous one on the sideline would have been worthy of a booking, and then he couldn't have produced that one because he would have been off as we get down to Adam again.
Yeah, just on that, as soon as it happened, JP DiMarini turned around, Jordan O'Doherty's warming up, said, get Sullivan off, get O'Doherty on. Good story for O'Doherty, coming back from an ACL injury, a bad one last week, and getting some more minutes this week.
One back, taken off Schwegler's boot. Dealt with by Ziegler. Ziegler bailing out Schwegler. And here's Balmjohan. Little flick through, heavy touch. That was another chance created by Balmjohan, but not finished off by Lafondra.
Well, his first touch again's good, and his second one's heavy. Balmjohan, great vision, great awareness. Just the outside of the foot, and that one, it's just too heavy. He was away. Watch, it's just too heavy, the touch. Low part, quick off his line as well. Sydney looking more likely.
That change, which Adam forecast, is about to occur. And a long road back for O'Doherty. As Adam mentioned, returned last week. And Nick Sullivan being invited to make the long walk back to the bench by leaving on the far side of the pitch. And the former Adelaide United man making his entrance. And you'd fancy you'd have the same brief. Don't let Balmjohan turn and face forward. Or Ninkovic for that matter. Desire and intensity in these Wanderers players that we didn't see under the last few months of Marcus Babbel's reign. JP DiMarini asking for plenty out of his team and finding it. They're under pressure in this second half. Sydney FC have been fashioning the better openings. Caceres popping up everywhere right now. King with composure. Organisation tough to break down. Georgievski's header. A risky defending by Yerman. Did it strike the arm?
Well, there wasn't much reaction from the players right next to him. Barbarousis and Ryan Grant.
Only the 5,000 fans who thought they saw a stray arm. Chris Griffiths-Jones, the VAR, giving it the quick all clear. Is he offside? Not according to the assistant.
And they all come near post, no one back post. That's a decent ball.
Here's the Yerman suspect control. Left arm away from his body, but appeared to strike the chest region. Russell shut down the passing lane. Given back to Bratton, though. Fired it. A bit more pace than Barbarousis wanted there. Duke asking Cox to chase. Two veterans head-to-head, and Wilkinson got the step on the Englishman, who is an Irish international, of course. Few Englishmen have gone on to play for Ireland down the years, Robin. Little nibble by Ziegler. Lafondra on the deck. Patience shown. Fired in at pace. Away by McGowan once more. Did that strike the hand of Bratton? Yes, it did. No hesitation by referees when they see handballs outside of the areas in modern football. Immediate whistle. And free kick given. Even if it's not a deliberate handball. Look at that for domination in terms of completed passes. Fans enjoyed that as Ali Reza Fagani lost control. Whoop. Over he goes. Great agility shown by the Iranian referee. The old backflip. Might send him to the Olympics as a competitor after that effort, not just an official. Miss kick from Wilkinson. No damage done. King was there to atone. Ninkovic, really clever in this situation. Likewise, King squares the pass down the line. And Lafondra is fouled again. Here comes Reza Fagani to sort out that cracked spray can. Johan playing for the free kick, didn't get it. Georgievski, good-looking shape about it. Oh, they've gotten a muddle again. Second time in the game, Wilkinson and Redmayne.
Second collision, and Wilkinson gets up. He'll be bruised and battered tomorrow. The mistake from Bumyahan and Georgievski was off down the left. Decent cross, but just not enough bodies. Only Cox really in that penalty box for the Wanderers.
Is turning inside. Johan. Ronaldo step over, not quite as deft as Cristiano.
It's too tight.
Caceres keeps it alive. Now they've got some extra numbers here, Sydney FC. King forced wide. Caceres can handle into the area now. The Wanderers may be tiring here. Bratton looking for Grant. And Lopar, after the flick up off a teammate, got there in time.
Well, they got deep and Caceres got in a terrific position. And Sydney, another good situation. And they just don't make the most of it. They've lacked a little bit of that cutting edge that we've seen this season from them.
Duke. Flights one for Georgievski. Grant forced in backwards. Space here for Muller. Absorbed a lot of pressure in this second half. Now O'Doherty and Russell, the two substitutes. Across the face, terrific ball. Must be for Cox. Bodies in the road. Important block. And now placing it, Redmayne makes the save. And denies O'Doherty.
Well, Cox just took too long. He should have scored. There's no way they should have been allowed to block that. He was in so much space. Great ball in, wicked ball from Tate Russell. Touched too many. And to get that out of his feet and instantaneously should have been hitting that.
Was this down for the bottom corner? No, Redmayne able to cover plenty of ground.
Wanderers could have punished Sydney there.
Brief delay for Muller. Can take the corner. Plenty of height in it. Schwegler! Trying the first time strike.
And technically he's done okay, but he just can't keep it down. A difficult one, came from a fair old height. defensive header straight to Swiegler. Took it on with his left.
If the Wanderers score at that end and celebrate, I fancy that fence might be coming down there. It looks like it's holding on just at the moment. Grant, cleverly done. Around Cox, first time pass. Silky move so far from Sydney FC. Johan into the area. And a ricochet in the end out for a throw.
Well, he's in two minds whether to keep going or to flick that with the outside of the boot. To Barbarouses.
There's a little flick inside. A turn ball intended for Grant. They'll get a corner out of it.
Yeah, mistake. Should have been going for a throw-in from McGowan.
Steve Corica about to go to his bench for the first time. Trent Bahaja not too far away. Johan's delivery. Duke away. And anywhere will do for Cox. Did have a chance to launch a counter if he turned inside there. Took the conservative option. Newman's header. Very narrow again. Sydney FC. Johan on the turn, shielding it away. And tried the toe poke in the end.
Oh, it's like you said, it's just too narrow. There's too many bodies there, and they need some width from King and Grant on the right-hand side.
Oh, classy little flick from Duke. Now Cox trying to bring it down for Duke. And the captain kept on going. Ryan Grant. And he's the onside. Flag staying down for now. And here is Muller, denied by Redmayne. Super save by the grand final hero.
Yeah, great save. Keeps him in the game. Mistake from Ryan Grant. They should have punished them. It's two big chances they've now had, Wanderers. Two big chances.
Thought Duke had to be offside when it rebounded his way, but the flag never came. We'll have a replay soon to see whether the goal would have stood had Muller found a way past Redmayne. Kept it in, but King was the beneficiary. Bratton, plenty of time. Pretty much standard throughout the game, that possession stat. Wanderers in front in shots in this second half. Come back by O'Doherty, dumped over by Caceres, and the referee maybe with a premature whistle there. It's time for that Sydney FC change. Bahaja for Barbarouses once more. Oh, he's onside, isn't he? Kept on by King, so the goal would have stood.
It was just a toe poke, wasn't it, from Muller? Stood big, Redmayne. But really, it was a better save than it was a finish.
Fabulous guest on the Fox Football podcast this week with Garby and Simon Hill, talking about how when he was at the Wanderers he thought his career was about to come to an end. He was going to go back to uni and give up on his football dream, but then John Crawley and Graham Arnold lured him to Sydney FC when Janjetovic went the other way, and he hasn't looked back since. Georgievski, chance to attack, and then when he had a chance to pull the trigger, he looked for a teammate that wasn't there. Doesn't turn down the option too many times.
No.
Inside the final 10 minutes. Now we're going to see a goal in the 24th Sydney derby. Wanderers struck the woodwork in the first half. Nikolai Muller with a sensational effort, almost deserved a goal. And here he is again, denied by Redmayne moments ago. What might have been for Western Sydney so far in this derby. O'Doherty.
They're getting a bit loose, Sydney, aren't they? Defensively, looking a little bit tired.
Russell hangs it up. Header. Duke! He's done it again! Via the aerial routes. And Western Sydney lead the derby again 1-0. Just as they did in round 3 when it was an early goal from Duke. Now it might be the late winner from the captain.
Well, this is a terrific header because he had to direct it. He couldn't get much power on it because he's actually backpedaling as he goes to head this. A terrific ball from Tate Russell, who I must say has been good since he's come on. And Mitchell Duke. You just see how loose Sydney were getting defensively. Look at that for a cross. And Duke backwards, not a lot of power in it, but what it's got is direction. And an outstretched Redmayne can't get even a fingertip to it. Terrific header from Mitchell Duke. You know, they've had 2 big chances before this, and this one they take.
On the Socceroos' radar again, Mitch Duke has 5 goals in 4 games. It was the flying header at Bank West. Now it's the pinpoint placement to get the better of Redmayne on enemy territory. Back-to-back derby wins for the first time in a long time. It's within reach.
Well, Sydney had been warned. Simon Cox first should have scored. Muller, terrific save from Redmayne. Now, they've had the 3 best chances of the second half, and they've taken one. Ninkovic had a header. It was Sydney's best chance.
Sydney FC not beaten in a home derby since round 3 of the 13-14 season. That home winning streak, an A-League record in jeopardy here. An attacking move is made. Marco Tillier had a goal and assist in 3 minutes after coming on for his debut last week. Steve Corica hoping the magic works again as Caceres is withdrawn. Wilkinson only able to prevent the corner.
You just wonder whether Sydney have the energy to respond to this spring in the step from the Wanderers. What a win this would be for them. And of course, not just the fact that it's the derby, but in respect to them, making a late charge for the top 6.
Here's Tillier. First contribution, but won back by O'Doherty. Left by Duke cleverly. O'Doherty can't find a way around McGowan. Ninkovic doesn't have a lot to hit. Had to go wide to Tillier. A young man who tore it up in the Youth League Grand Final at this venue. Lovely square ball to King. Trying to get around Russell. Now Bratton.
No, it's the wrong option. The Wanderers and Lopar would be delighted to see Luke Bratton hit one from that distance.
Wound up in the cove. That long-range strike. Only reason for Garney. Got the second ball off the pitch and then gave Lopar the hurry-up. Veteran Swiss keeper taking his time. And the Wanderers keep a clean sheet. They tend to win their derbies. All 5 previous victories against Sydney FC have come when doing that. On track for number 6 here as Baum-Johan lets out his frustration on Schwegler, and he'll be the first Sydney FC player into the book.
tight legs. Domination slow up, stretching. And the Wanderers, that little 7 or 8 minute burst where they produced those 3 chances and they took the 3rd one.
Tilio ran into a roadblock in the end as he was taking players on. Lovely dink ball inside by Georgievski. Duke with a misplaced effort. And Sydney FC conjure an equaliser here. Cross whipped in. Lafondra trying to pounce in the box. Look at all the sky blue shirts getting forward here. Here comes King and couldn't control it as he ghosted in.
No, and he didn't have time, and just there, he needs to take that on. It would have been difficult on the half volley, but he only had the chance to take that on and try and hit it first time on the half volley. Watch as it comes across. On his heels, if he's going forward there, he's got a chance to strike that ball. Would have been difficult.
Didn't need the deflection off the 2 in that aerial contest. Mishit by Lopar. Crumbled a fair way. Johan didn't have the angle. It favoured Yerman. Sydney FC only beaten once this season by the Wanderers in round 3. Can Western Sydney make it 2 out of 2 with another derby just 3 weeks away? And this would give them real momentum as well, heading into that crunch clash with Brisbane in 7 days' time. On comes Swivel, another of the youngsters who's graduated from that youth team. And Johan taken off, suffering with cramp as we saw a moment ago. Ninkovic is looking for Swivel, upended late by Duke. And will come back for a Sydney FC free kick.
Just right at the end of his action, didn't need to do it. Mitchell Duke, whose header gives us this scoreline. Ninkovic's pass was easily intercepted. Maybe a set piece for Sydney FC. But Wanderers have defended well this evening. It's been the building block for them.
Bratt, great shape about it. Tracked by Georgievski in flight though. Tilio. Bratt. Closed down by Muller. Wanderers working so hard, trying to close out this clean sheet. Oh, lash out by Georgievski, and it caught the face of young Tilio, and Georgievski's in real bother here, I fancy.
Well, you can't react like that. It's not a great challenge from Tilio. He's only a youngster, and it's enthusiasm. Georgievski, the red mist descended.
The derby boils over 89 minutes in. The one red card so far in Georgievski's A-League career. He's avoided a second for now, but will VAR weigh in? Because I thought a boot, which was lashed out by Georgievski, struck the face of Tilio. Can we capture it on this angle?
He certainly called it.
Steve Corica saw it on the replay, so did all of the fans here. For the time being, Georgievski still getting away with it, but Chris Griffiths-Jones is telling Fagani to wait. And there could be an upgrade from yellow to red in a moment. For that, has to be. He's going to come over and have a look himself, and the Wanderers will be down to 10 with a few more minutes to close this one out.
Well, certainly Lashes back there catches Tillier on the chin. There's no doubt about it. There's not much movement.
The assistant had a good view. Referee is looking at it as well, and Ali Reza Fagani has seen all of the replays. He's going right the way over to Georgievski. Try and make sure this doesn't escalate further, because he's going to be shown the 7th red card in the history of the Sydney Derby. It's no yellow, it's a straight red for violent conduct. Georgievski knew what was coming. We've got to make sure this doesn't boil over any further. This is all adding to stoppage time. Will there be enough time for Sydney FC to rescue something?
Well, it's always been a red card retaliation. It was out of frustration of the challenge of Tillier, which wasn't the best of challenges, but you can't take the law into your own hands.
What's it like down there, Adam?
Heated, as you'd imagine, and it's only going to get more heated if Georgievski applauds the Sydney FC fans. Tasmore Kudus, who was an integral part or a big part of the Olyroos campaign up there in Thailand to get to the Olympics, he's coming on. But as soon as Ali Reza Fagani came over and had a look at the replay, or they saw it on the big screen, the Wanderers staff started planning for life in this game without Daniel Georgievski.
And Muller now making the slow walk off to be replaced by Murder Kudus. They might be looking at game time next week with Georgievski now unavailable. And he's going into that left wing back position. Georgievski waits for that full-time whistle so he can celebrate in the tunnel. He's let himself down though. And he's going to spend some time on the sidelines as a result. Tillier, such a tidy player, able to keep this one alive. Ninkovic slides one through, out off McGowan for the corner. So they put up 3 minutes, but that's been added to by at least a couple after that long delay for the VAR. But we are at the referee's discretion. The Cove expectant. Bratton. One to attack in the middle. Lopar. Able to palm it clear. Anywhere will do for Yerman. No searching really long. Is there even more drama to come at the death in this one? Hung up by Redmayne. Away by McGowan. Tillier, the teenager. Deflection on his cross. Ziegler with a commanding header. Away by Murder Kudus. How much longer? Say the Western Sydney bench and their fans. Not the return ball that Grant was after. Now Tillier goes back to Grant once more. Left foot cross is handy. Off the head of Russell. Bahaja. King. Up comes Lopar. And fouled as well on the way down. And that will do for Western Sydney. JP Di Marini might not be the interim coach for that much longer. On track for 10 points out of 12 since taking the job. Marcus Bavel couldn't find a win late in his tenure. JP Di Marini pulling all of the right reins at the moment. Credit to him for that. Back-to-back derby successes for Western Sydney. 1-0 for the second derby in a row. Mitch Duke with the match winner. And all of those fans in red and black have bragging rights for at least another 3 weeks. So much to look forward to in Derby 3 in March at Bank West. And the Wanderers are on a charge, seemingly headed for the top 6. They are just 2 points out of the finals positions right now, and all the momentum. Sydney FC beaten at Cogra for the first time in a long time. Their streak of home wins ends at 11. And their only defeats all season have come against their fierce rivals from across town. West conquers East again in the A-League. It's the Wanderers 1, Sydney FC 0. What a night, what a contest. Daniel Georgievski picked up the late red card, so there'll be a reshuffle forced for that match against Brisbane. But aren't they going along very nicely indeed after finally making the long overdue change of coach, and it's paying off right now. Sydney FC have to find a spark again. Got a big week coming up as well. They host John Book here midweek in the Champions League, then away to the Melbourne Victory in the Big Blue. Suddenly Steve Corica has a few headaches. His attack misfiring a little of late. These celebrations are going to be fantastic to watch. Those Wanderers fans who've packed in at that end of Cogra. Let's get some reaction now with Robbie Slater.
Well, I got 2 very, very happy Wanderers, Nikolai Muller, Matt Yerman. How does that feel?
Yeah, no, it was a very tough game. We knew it was going to be tough coming here, and you know, the boys, they stayed to the structure. They did everything that JP asked for, and you know, I think we were very hard to break down. So yeah, we're pretty happy with the 1-0 win. Yeah,
defensively, you dealt with pretty much everything that came. The 3 of you across the back.
Yeah, we knew we were going to be in for a tough night. You know, they've got a great team and a great bunch of boys up front. So it was a good test for us, and I think it shows the improvement that we've had in the last month or so. And
Nikolai, you had a big chance, great save from the goalkeeper. Did you think that was the last chance, or you always felt that there was another one coming? And you guys created the best 3 chances of the half, and you took the last one.
Yeah, I believe that we get our chances, and we need to get it, and we have one chance and we get it, and we got to win.
So another win in the derby, this sets the momentum for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I hope so. We have a good run. We have now 10 points in 4 games, and we need to keep going. We want to go on the top 6, and yeah, it's now 8 games done.
Well done, both of you. I better let you go and celebrate. They're waiting for you. Cheers, guys. See you, matey. See you, Nikolai.
That's 2 in a row for Western Sydney Wanderers in the Sydney Derby. A big, big win. Statement win, if you like, under the new man, JP Di Marini. Adam Lafondre, yep, staring, giving the 1,000-yard stare, trying to work out how Sydney FC didn't get anything out of that match as Western Sydney Wanderers jump around, as you would after winning a match of this magnitude. Mark Bosnich and Alex Bross. Bozzer, what'd you make of all that?
Well, I thought it was an amazing win by Western Sydney Wanderers. You know, the first half, I thought Sydney were the better side. They started off in the same vein the second half, but I tell you what, this Western Sydney Wanderers team, after about 5 to 10 minutes of the second half, they got that back 3 to push up a little bit more. They started playing football of their own, and like Robbie just said, they created the best chances of the half, and they happened to score one. And really, you know, really on another day, they would have scored the other 2. Sydney, in my opinion, I said at halftime, Adam, you asked me, what do you think they need to do? I mentioned one word first, patience. I think they ran out of that. And I also said a little bit of variety. And I think they didn't have enough of that towards the second half. But well done to John Paul Di Marini. Well done to these Western Sydney Wanderers, and well done to these supporters. They were fantastic all night. They gave them a second win when they needed it. And what an amazing win.
Bosky, how do you sum it up from both Wanderers' point of view? Boz has mainly touched on that, but also Sydney FC.
I think, yeah, Bozza was spot on with what he said about the Wanderers. I think a lot more needs to be made about JP and the influence that he's had. He's been able to turn this team around and made them hard to break down again, because in the first 4 or 5 games, they were near impossible to break down. And we saw that tonight. Sydney threw as much as they could. They tried a few different things, but it just wasn't happening. And the Wanderers looked like a lot more solid tonight. So I think JP has done very, very well in going back to the drawing board and starting from defence, to try and win them games.
And when they do, we mentioned it at half-time, Roski, you were in the sheds with Sydney FC, but when they do break, it seems it's not like they're just soaking up all this unbelievable pressure and then just breaking with 2 or 3. There's a few getting forward, and there's actually, it looks like there's an absolute fluent plan there. A lot of cross balls, to diagonal balls to get up the pitch.
Yeah, exactly. Up until probably a couple of weeks ago, it looked very disjointed. So they'd win the ball and they were out of ideas, and for whatever reason that may have been, they seemed, like you said, not to be doing that anymore. They seem to be attacking with purpose. So when they win it, they do soak up pressure, but they break in the right way and they get the ball to the players they need to. That finish was incredible by Mitch Duke. Great ball, great cross, A game like that where it's only going to take one moment, and Mitch Duke has come up with that moment twice.
Absolutely amazing header. I really don't know how he got the strength behind that header, because if you watch Tate Russell, by the way, special mention, when he come on, I thought Kamau, very dangerous player. Tate Russell more defensive, but Tate Russell was absolutely amazing. Great cross in, but to do that header going backwards when I thought he lost all his strength was an amazingly directed header. There's Andrew Redmayne, then he played really well, made a crucial save off Muller just moments earlier. But I tell you what, if you're in that Wanderers dressing room after what's just happened tonight, you're thinking to yourself, you know what? We're only going to go on and make the top 6 now. We're actually going to go even further, because that would give you so much confidence to be able to come here to the reigning champions who are so far ahead of everyone and perform as they did.
Yeah, Mitch Duke maybe talking about the defining moment with Ryan McGowan, talking it over, and I think Mitch Duke's going to join us in a moment. But I was going to ask you that, Bozza, does that reset everything for the Wanderers? That I guess with the new coach coming in, you don't look long-term, you look day-to-day with getting used to someone. But look, now, is that a statement in the sense that now they can look beyond day-to-day?
Massive, absolutely massive. They've got to strike while the iron's hot. They've got to use this to their advantage. No good looking back at the end of the season going, we thought the Sydney game was going to be the turning point, and all of a sudden just go, boom, all over like a pack of cards. Broski made the point before the game. He was 100% right when he was saying, look, it was difficult to judge because you just come in. Normally, 9 teams out of 10 in any sport, you get a new manager, you have that instant reaction. It was Central Coast, no disrespect. Last week, Adelaide really did have an off day, but this was a massive test. It was always going to be against the reigning champions, away from home. And I'll tell you what, they were, first half, they were second best, no doubt about that. But second half, they picked their game up. And this win for them, they must be going to be walking onto that bus tonight thinking to themselves, you know what, forget the top 6, we're going to go for the top 4 here. That was an amazing win. Congratulations to them.
As Daniel Georgievski congratulates everyone for missing the last couple of minutes. Mitch Duke joins us right now. Very enthusiastic celebrations for Mitch, as you would. He's got your shirt back on now. I thought you were just going to keep the rig out and give us a look, but no. So round 3, you win, and then you don't win again until round 12. This feels different to us. Does it feel different to you?
Yeah, definitely. I think that was the start of the downfall in our season after round 3. It's like we had a 10-week hangover. But I'm glad the boys have started to turn around the last few weeks, and hopefully we can keep building on our performances.
And Mitch, look, obviously you're captain and you want to be humble and all that, but I've got to say that was an amazing win. The other amazing thing I want you to explain was we're trying to work out, how did you get power behind that header when you had to go backwards? I don't understand. Was it just pure timing, or?
I've got an extra long neck, mate. You can get a bit more power behind
seriously,
it.
So what was your view? The ball's gone out to Tate. What are you thinking?
It was a bit of a floater, and I kind of just hoped that McGowan read it kind of thing, and lucky enough he did, and I didn't misjudge it, and I hit it perfectly. Yeah, lucky enough he overhit it, and I just stood my ground and placed it.
I saw you talking to Ryan just then. Did you bring it up?
Nah, to be fair, he just said, great finish. He didn't think, even when he missed the ball, he didn't think I would generate enough power to place it, and lucky enough I got it past the keeper.
Mitch, over to JP now and his influence. I mean, without discrediting Marcus Babbel and everything he did for you guys, what's been the change with JP, and how much belief has he brought into you guys now?
Yeah, he kind of just, we've been really focusing on mentality since he's taken over, and lucky enough we had that bye period for him to take over as well, so he had 2 weeks to kind of drill it into us, and he's kind of just stepped up the intensity in training as well, not accepting anything less, and even the foreigner boys have stepped up as well, which has been amazing. Like Muller, when he's on his game, he's so important for us as well, getting in those pockets, facing forward and driving with the ball. He's also a tidy finisher as well, and everyone's just gotten on board and putting in a massive shift each game, and when everyone does their individual jobs, it helps us collectively, and we're getting it done.
Yeah, Broski mentioned it pre-game with JP. If you're not up to the standard of intensity that he wants in training, he lets you know about it in no uncertain terms. How often has that happened, or has it kind of faded away a little bit as you've got on this run?
No, definitely. He's constantly on your case in training as well, so you can't relax. You can't set off the pace. Otherwise, you are going to cop it. Or he's not afraid to drop you, and he's made that very clear. So everyone's either got to perform, otherwise you're going to lose your spot, and that's just how it should be in professional football.
I'm smiling because I was thinking, what do you think he took like a tally? He's on training going, okay, he's had to go once, twice, three times, regardless of anything. It was an amazing win tonight. Congratulations to you all. You know what? The amount of times we spoke to you during that poor period, and we used to go, you're saying the same things. It's great to hear you after what was, like I said to you, for me, it's going to be a season-defining win. Absolutely fantastic, Mitch.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a catch-up game for us as well. So now, we're starting to creep into finals football, and that's our target. And I think we can really scare teams and upset if we can make it to the finals. I think we can
like
go
you
all
did
the way.
Tonight, you will.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well done, Mitch.
Cheers, boys.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mitch Duke.
Take care.
Let's have a look at Daniel Georgievski, his end to the game, because we've got some vision that came through just as we were talking to Mitch. But firstly, the red card, it was, everyone's on edge, derby, late on, a bit tired, these things, but I don't see any other option for the officials.
Absolutely no option. That was really stupid for Daniel Georgievski, especially at that time of the game. And you know what? If they happened to get an equaliser, I would have been absolutely fuming with him, because the bottom line is, okay, players getting tangles and this, that and the other, but to lash out like that, especially around somebody's face, completely deserved red card. And like I said, for me, it was stupid.
Now, we've got some vision, as mentioned, after it, and Georgievski getting the red card. I think he knew. This is Steve Corica, and coming up, I think, in the not-too-distant future, just having an absolute go at Daniel Georgievski. And Steve Corica was fuming after the round 3 loss, given the fact that it was a close call on the goal line. We've got Robbie Slater out on that occasion. We might get Robbie Slater up there to adjudicate that little set. Does that happen often, those kinds of things behind the scenes?
Look, to be honest, I've never seen it happen with a coach and a player as aggressive as that. I've never seen Bimby as aggressive as that. So I think it tells you what this game meant to him. This loss really would have hurt. And he obviously let Daniel know about it, when he came in. You don't want to see that either. I think Bimby, when he looks back at that, won't be proud of it. But look, he's upset, just as Daniel Georgievski. I think his lash out was silly, and he'll look back at that. Bimby as well, I think, once he calms down, he'll see that going out of player probably isn't the greatest look, but that's what you want in these games. It's absolutely understandable.
Stephen Corica is one of his younger players, and when you ask Broski, have you seen that before? Yeah, pretty much every week, and days in train as well. But I really do know from especially say someone like Sir Alex Ferg, if it's one of the younger players, they tend to have a much shorter fuse, and he would have done that 100 minutes. That's basically standing up for your players. I hear what Broski's saying, but because like I said to you, there was no need for that from Daniel Georgievski. It was stupid.
Let's hear from Steve Corica right now, standing by with Robbie Slater.
Yeah, here with Steve Corica, and I guess it was a game of chances, and they took their chance.
For me, that was similar to the first game, I think. We dominated the game, we played all the stuff, and they got the goal. So disappointing to concede one. But again, I'm very proud of our boys. They played extremely well. Obviously, it's been a big couple of weeks with the trip to Japan and that. But they look like they're back fresh. And it's probably just the final pass in that final third that was lacking today. But other than that, I thought we played really well.
Yeah, maybe the last 10 minutes they did create a couple of chances, and they obviously took one. Do you think the team got a little bit tired towards the end of the game?
No, I think we still dominated towards the end. It was a ball into the box again, another header. But yeah, it's obviously costly. But all in all, I think we played really well. But we obviously got to keep a clean sheet, and we would have probably maybe went on and won it.
Anyway, better luck next week, Steve. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
And just on Sydney FC, so they've had Yokohama, they've had this. So 2 big matches, and they've fallen short for one reason or another. Reason to start thinking, this is a bit odd, or anything more than that?
Not for me. You're always thinking, whether you're winning or losing or drawing, if you like, you're always thinking to tweak and to improve your team. Okay, so far as the Yokohama game, put that to one side. They'll get their chance of revenge here in May. And they come, like I said, against a team that I thought that should be a benchmark for the whole of Australian football. In terms of tonight, they didn't do a great deal wrong. First half, I thought they were very good. Second half, it just didn't quite click for them. But you know what? You have stages like this throughout a season, Adam. And when you have stages like this throughout a season, and Broski will tell you, the most important thing is that you get through it as much unscathed as you possibly can. But then you bounce back from it. And that's going to be so important. They've got a Champions League game coming up here on Wednesday night. Another opportunity then to bounce back. And like I said, there's still a long way of this season to go in terms of final series for them. And you know what? In a funny type of way, Broski, you'll be able to tell me this more than probably anyone, probably the fact that they've been so far ahead and so good this season, just maybe, even subconsciously, just for the players in that area, they may just sort of just a little bit taking the foot off the pedal.
I was actually thinking it when Boswell was talking before, thinking the exact thing that. And not to sound arrogant, but when you're winning every week and it becomes almost a habit and you're that far ahead where you come into the change room after a win and you're not even celebrating anymore, that can be in a small way hurtful, you know. So I think a loss like this, while it won't be ideal for Sydney, it could be that little bit of a kick that they need to finish this season. So they'll obviously be disappointed, but I think it'll be that little kick that I think they need to get them going again.
Yeah, just on the Champions League, we're hearing there's going to be a meeting early next week convened by the AFC to find out what is going on with the Champions League this season, because obviously factors totally out of football's control with coronavirus about the state of play. Everything is on the table, we're hearing, so we'll wait and see exactly what happens in Kuala Lumpur early next week. We're off to a quick break and we'll be back to wrap things up, have a look ahead to tomorrow and some more talking points out of the derby. Won again by the Wanderers, Mitch Duke the hero, like he was in the round 3 success at Bankwest Stadium. He's done it again. He's captain for a reason. 1-0 to the Wanderers, their second derby win in a row. Great night here at Cogra, especially if you're a Western Sydney Wanderer. A 1-0 success in the derby, still undefeated in 4 under JP Di Marini, the new boss who's taken over. He was there as an assistant to Marcus Balbo. You see what it means to Labanot Halidi, who's been there for many a great moment for the Wanderers. And they're on the verge of the top 6 and perhaps better things ahead. And Sydney FC, well, they're still 13 points clear at the top of the A-League table, so it's no disaster. Alex Brosk and Mark Bosnich. The atmosphere here tonight, it's the first derby we had here at Cogra. How'd you enjoy it, Brosky?
Good, good. I mean, normally this year I've been and watched them up in the box, but today I was out with the family right amongst the stands, and it was incredible, incredible. As soon as all the fans finally got into the stadium, the noise was electric, both sets of fans going at each other, and it was everything you hoped it would be.
Is it totally different to, because you watched the first derby in a box, you weren't exactly out amongst it with the Bankwest Stadium that night,
there, no.
but is it totally different sitting in the stands like that as opposed to even out in the field as a player?
It definitely is. I mean, you feel it as a player, but when you sit